What's up, YouTube? It's been a little bit since I've been able to make one of these videos for you guys. Been working extremely hard, a lot of hours, and sitting back kind of taking in a few things, looking around, watching some videos, really trying to consume some of the feedback I've gotten from the Allie Knight comment that I made. That was really just the beginning of that video, and it was a comment that she actually made in a video herself, and I was merely giving my perspective as to her changing of her format, which was no way I was no way trying to disrespect her, no matter what you guys who wrote some negative comments on there put down, and I'm not going to stoop to your level to be that vindictive over somebody's perspective of a video. And if you read some of the other comments and all the views that video had, which I didn't do it for views, I was just making a video, just something to do, like most of us truckers do. You know, you got a little time, you make a little video. But if you read some of the comments, yeah, I got some thumbs down on it, you know. There's like 2,000 hits on it. 46 thumbs down. Guess I was all wrong, huh? 2,000 minus 46. But anyway, shout out to Allie Knight. Allie, you know good and well I wasn't disrespecting you. And I think you got your feelings hurt because somebody else said something that you hadn't heard before, you know. And unfortunately in life, you don't get all positive comments whenever you do something. And in fact, I did do a positive comment about you and your work. So, you know, I would hope you'd go back and think through some things and right a wrong that you did by posting what you did to get everybody so angry. I said many times how great of a driver I thought you was, how good videos that I think you do. So that's enough of that, Allie. I don't need you to survive. I've lived my whole life without having to worry about somebody else's idea of me. That being said, I told you guys I was going to get back with you, and I've tried a couple times to make this video, and I hope this one comes through. You know, National Cancer Survivors Day is coming up, so I just wanted to give you guys, I dropped a video about this story, and I went back after it was posted and watched it just to make sure that everything went through. And when I proofed it to begin with, the video started, everything was great, so I thought all was well. And got a message that the audio was messed up, so I went back, and over halfway the audio quit. So I took that one down, and here's a remake. I don't know, many of you, I'm sure a lot of you know someone who's had cancer, has cancer, or know someone in your circle of friends or family that has had to deal with it. I personally have had to deal with it. My wife and I went out to eat, and as you can tell from my band, cancer survivor, and when I got home I started coughing a lot, and she asked me why I was coughing. I said, I don't know, maybe I got something, you know, stuck in my throat partially. And so I kept on, and didn't stop. So the next day I woke up and it was still doing it. So I went to my family, made an appointment, went to my family doctor. He looked down as far as he could in my throat to see if he could see anything. He said, I can't see anything. He said, I'll send you to an ENT. So I thought I had, like, you know, sore throat, tonsillitis, something. So the next day I go to the ENT. He runs a scope and a light down my nose, down my throat. And to me, literally, once you're in this situation, it's unbelievable the emotional roller coaster you ride through. It seemed like literally 30 seconds, and he pulls it out, and he says, sir, He said, you'll be in the hospital tomorrow morning. He said, you got a malignant tumor on the base of your tongue. And I said, what? He said, yes, sir. He said, this is serious. So right then I was in a state of shock from that point on. And I think still today I'm almost 4 years cancer free. Praise God. I think I'm still in a state of shock. It altered my life that much. But anyway, he went to his secretary and he says, I need you to make this young man an appointment. We need him in the hospital in the morning to do a biopsy. So she kind of looked at him. You know, I guess it wasn't quick enough for him. So he said, move over, I'll do it. Excuse me. So he got on there, he made the appointment. I arrived at the hospital the next morning, 4 a.m. Had the procedure at 6. And I remember when they were waking me up in the recovery room, he was standing there and he woke me up and he said, what I feared was true. He said, do you want to see the photos I had taken? I said, no, I don't. But I did happen to see in his hand a photo. They take photos and there's 4 squares. 4 squares on this one sheet of paper, 4 little color photos. And I did happen to look. And just that little glimpse I caught to me looked like the devil. And I just turned my head. You know, I knew that I was in either A, a dead man, or B, in for a long, long road. So we got up. I woke up, went and got something to eat, and and at that time his instructions were, we have already set you up with an oncologist. You need to go straight to that office when you leave here, and we've already set you up with a radiologist. You'll be going to that office when you leave there. So I went to the oncologist's office. We all sat down at the table. They had faxed over all the information, got on the hospital's computer, could see everything that was done. And my doctor looked at me and she said, sir, she said, it's very serious. She said, you got a 30% chance of living. And she said, we're going to have to use an aggressive treatment. And it's going to be tough on you. But and I asked her, I said, am I going to die? And she said, sir, I can't tell you that. She said, but all I can tell you is you got a 30% chance to make it through. So, we went over some stuff, and here I am. I mean, I'm blown away. My mind's in another atmosphere, I just couldn't believe it. Me, why is it happening to me? So we left there and went to the radiologist. He looked down there and looked at all the records and did all this stuff, and he said, sir, we're going to start the most, for me to use the word, the most violent treatment we know to try to stop it in its tracks. That's the only chance you have to survive. And he said it's going to be the worst treatment we give anybody for any cancer, period, bar none. And right then I knew that I had to reach down, grab up, tighten my belt, and put on my man pants, because it was fixing to be one hell of a ride. So the next morning I was taken to the hospital. They took a big plastic sheet about this long, about that tall, and they put it in this machine and heated it up. And when they did, I was laying on the table. They laid it on my face, formed it to my face to look like a perfect mask of my face. And then it went over my face, my neck, and half of my shoulders. And then it cooled, and it was made out of fiberglass. So when it cooled, it literally looked like a perfect replica of my face. Every dent, indentation, nose, I mean everything. Scariest damn thing you've ever seen in your life. Well, that wasn't the scariest damn thing, because what they had to do to that, they had to get the mathematicians to mark on that mask where that radiation was going to be beamed in at different levels to get to my neck. And as you can see the damage still to my neck, just like it aged at 20 years. So the next day, I go to the hospital. I have my first round of chemotherapy. Out of 9, supposed to have been 10. It got so bad I turned down the last one. and had 27 rounds. I believe that number is correct. 27 rounds of radiation, 5 days a week until it was done. Well, first round of chemo, real scared. I was real nervous. All those scenarios in your head come up about the being sick and all this stuff. So they've gotten a little better at that. They gave you a little medicine in front of it, and it helps. And I said, well, am I going to lose my hair? Don't really matter. I'm half bald anyway. But still, you'd lose your eyebrows, this, that, and the other. And they said, no, this is a different type. So, go America. So, we got that done. And then I went to radiation. Well, that mask I was telling you guys about, they put it on you and they bolt you. You lay flat on the table. They bolt you to a table around your head, around your shoulders. And you cannot move. You can't blink your eyes. You can't twist your head. You can't go up. You can't move. Reason being is those mathematicians have pinpointed where that laser has to hit. That radiation has to hit 5 different places. So when they first laid me on the table, shut me up in that big room by myself, bolted me down, I panicked. Because I could not move. I couldn't blink my eyes. I couldn't do anything. I literally could not move anything. So the only thing I could do is they could hear me mumble, get me out of here. So they came in there, took it off, said, this is something you're going to have to do, Mr. Smith. You're going to die. So I said, okay. So they gave me a shot of Ativan, wait a few minutes, and here we go. So I did that, and I'm telling you guys, every time I went, I was petrified. Not of the radiation, which is what you should be more petrified of. I was petrified of being bolted to that table where I could not move. Claustrophobia kicked in every time. And so after a while, first couple treatments, I said, man, this ain't nothing. It's going to be gravy. Well, after the second treatment, they said, we're going to have to send you to the gastroenterologist because we're going to have to put a feeding tube in. I said, well, what is that and why? She said, because the radiation is going to get so bad, you won't even be able to swallow your own spit. So that scared the living hell out of me, to be honest with you. And it scared anybody. So I went to the hospital again, had a feeding tube put in. And what they do is they take this long tube, cut a hole in your stomach, poke it down in there, and then they take that tube, instead of cutting the lining of your stomach, they push and they push and they push until it pops, until it breaches the wall of the stomach. And then they staple it to the outside of the stomach wall here so it doesn't move. Then you have like a big syringe that just hangs out from there. And when you take that syringe, and I lived on inshore for 3 months. That's all I could have. I couldn't eat by mouth, couldn't drink by mouth. My throat was so raw that it looked like I had blisters down all in my throat, down on my tongue. I had I forget what they call it, but everything inside my mouth turned white. It was a white film, and the only thing I could taste was salt. I had a terrible taste of salt, and I wasn't even eating. It was just awful. It was god awful. So I did that, and then they took me directly upstairs and put a chemo port right here, so they wouldn't have to keep sticking you in the vein, when you went to have chemotherapy. And I had to have infusions of iron because that got low, and so many things. And they had to go in, and you had to go get tested every week, and draw blood every week, and see the cancer doctor every week. I mean, it was a long process, and kudos to my family. My dad, big hero to my dad. My dad did not skip a beat, didn't miss anything. He took me anywhere, everywhere, because, my wife had to keep working. We had to live. We had to pay the bills best we could. I was out of work 3 months, minimum 3 months. And so I went through all that, and it got to the point that my skin was peeling. That's really just like it's 3rd-degree burns around my neck. It was just peeling. I'd have to put gauze on it at night so the blood wouldn't get all over the bed. And when they take that mask off, it would literally pull skin with it. And they'd have to put all kinds of stuff around my neck to keep it from getting infected. So here we go. We're riding through this treatment. We're going about 2 months strong. I don't get out of the bed. I can't move. All of a sudden one night I start throwing up violently. Cannot stop. No matter what I do. I mean, I was just so weak. I could barely walk. Literally I laid in the bed and I could barely walk. It beat me that bad. My wife said, we need to get you to the hospital. The doctor said, if you get a fever run over 103, call immediately. I said, no, I ain't going. I'll be all right. No, I ain't going. So, long story short, I went. And it's a good thing I did, because had I not gone, I would have died the next day. The chemo port had gotten infected, and the infection was flooding through my body, attacking my organs. And they had to call in the National Disease Control Center. They put me in the hospital immediately, around the clock. Antibiotics, the highest they had, every day, 3 times a day. And on top of that, again, I couldn't eat. I was having to take Ensure bottles, take that little plunger, pull it up, pour Ensure in there, and you could feel it go down the tube, and you could feel it go in your stomach, but there was no food. And I tell you, the desire to eat food, when you smell it, is something that's built into us since we were a child, from your mother's breast on. You smell something you want to eat. Well, it was terrible. I'm telling you, I could smell a hamburger 10 miles away. But I manned up. I suffered through it, and I went through all the treatments. And right there at the very end, the last treatment I went to, she said, we need one more round. I said, I can't do it. I literally can't do it, and I'm not. And she said, well, will have to cut your tongue out, because it's on the base of your tongue. That's where it decided to attach itself. I said, that's not going to happen. I said, if that has to happen, then I guess I'll have to go home. The good Lord have to take me home. So, make a long story a little shorter, I had several PET scans, and if any of you know about cancer treatment, PET scans, when you go in, they put these chemicals in your body that light up if there's any cancer anywhere in the body. Well, mine first lit up that it was here and here, because that's where a lump first came up. In the beginning of the story, I should have told you, the next day I was shaving, and a lump just popped up overnight. So it had spread from here to there, and got into the lymphatic system that quick. That's how quick it had moved. And that's why they had to go so fast, because it had already traveled. Once it travels from its point of origin, your chances of survival are very, very slim. But I have to give it off to my doctors, hospital, my family, the good Lord for giving me the strength to go through it, and the good Lord for healing my body, because I believe He had to send an angel down. Excuse me. I went to church as long as I could. Church members came by. They took care of me. They prayed for me. They prayed over me. They prayed with me. Again, this is over a 3-month process, every day except for the weekends. And the weekends I was having to give my own self medication at home. But I made it through it. And I remember this day. It was the day before Thanksgiving, almost. Like I said, I'm almost over 4 years in remission now. I got a phone call going to see my daughter at work. She was a pharmacy tech at the time. And they called me as I was walking back, and they said, Mr. Smith, we got some news. And I knew that last test was going to be it. It was going to be make or break. And I said, all right, what is it? And she said, I just want to tell you, sir, that you're in remission. It's gone. It's completely gone. There's nowhere to be found. Well, I was an emotional wreck. Praise the Lord, I was alive, but emotionally I just broke down. It was just, it was that hard. And it still is today. If I see or hear somebody's got cancer, I still go back to that very first day when the doctor says you have cancer. From that day forward, it changes your life. It changes who you are. And it changed me. And sometimes I think it changed me for the worse. Sometimes I think it changed me for the better. I just don't know. I still have mixed reviews on how it changed me. And a lot of people say, well, you ought to be happy. You got the rest of your life to live, and I am happy. I'm grateful. I lost half my taste buds are gone. My saliva glands are burnt up. I've got very few of those left, so I'm always having to drink something. If I eat, I have to chase it down with water every bite. So, I have disabilities as far as that's concerned, but I still get up and I go to work. I went to work before I was released from the doctor's office, and my employer could not believe it. I wanted to come back to work, but I've been working my whole life. I just wanted to go. I got tired of laying in the bed and dwindling away. I felt like I was just laying there dying. And, I felt it was a good time to go back and talk about this story, because this is happening more and more to people. Different types of cancers hitting more and more people, traumatizing families. One of my sister's friends just died yesterday. They told him he had 6 months, he made it 2. So each and every one of you, if you know somebody who has cancer, or find out someone that has cancer, please send them to my YouTube channel. Let them watch this video for one reason. And that reason is you can beat it. And that other reason is God is always here. Whether he takes you home or whether he leaves you here, God's always with you. And if they want to discuss anything about the treatments, how this worked, how that worked, if they want to watch this video and contact me, leave me an instant message on my Facebook page, or leave me a message on here. I'll get in touch with them. I'll talk to them. I can talk to them while they're going through it. I'll do anything I can to help, because I feel like I need to pay it forward. So there's a lot of other things that's in and out of that story about the cancer, but that's the hits and misses of it. And I hope this video comes out, because the last one for some reason didn't. And if it don't, I'm going to continue to do it, because I need this word to get out, just for one reason. And I need people to know that you can beat it. You have to be strong. It's going to kick you right square in the right square in the shorts. And you just got to tighten that belt and pray and fight it hard. That being said, I want to thank all my new YouTube followers. I want to thank you for all the ones who left positive feedback. Thank you. You are a part of the educated class in America that can see a whole video for its worth, not watch 5 minutes and take the rest of that video and think it's going to pertain to one subject and start trying to leave negative and demeaning comments about people, which doesn't bother me. I've been beat to death with cancer. I've raised my family, worked my whole life. As you see, I don't just wear this because somebody made it. I put that uniform on for this country. Did you? Did you, who made that negative comment, you man enough to sign that contract, sign your life over to the United States of America, sign your life away, protect this country, protect the rights that I have to make any video I feel like making, when, how, or where. So, you haters keep hating. Don't bother me. I laugh when I read it. But you guys who make those positive comments, that's what the world needs more and more, is people being positive and supporting each other. And yes, I am a truck driver. They call me the day runner. That's what I call me, not they. And my subscribers know me as the day runner. I tell my life story as I see it, for whatever the day brings. I just don't have a certain platform that I'm going to do a video on. Is going to always be about trucking, or it's going to always be about this style of trucking, or it's just going to be about my life. My life is trucking, or my life is how I feel today. Period. Bottom line. So if you don't like them, hey, I appreciate it. Don't watch. But you don't have to be a jerk about it. I'm not going to be a jerk to you. But if it makes you feel all big and bad, then be a jerk. It's up to you. But a big shout out to all my subscribers. I'm always going to shout out to Michael. I'm always going to do that, because that's one heck of a guy. If you look down through my videos and look at his comments, you'd want to follow him too, because he's always a positive guy. Does a great job. And all you guys out there I subscribe to trucking, I spend my time watching your videos and learning, laughing, and being entertained. So I hope that if you watch this video, you'll subscribe to my channel and watch my history, and as far as it leads up, as I've watched yours, learn who I am as a person, and pass it on. Leave some thumbs up, as y'all say. I would appreciate it. The more viewers I get, especially on this part of the cancer side, the more people I may be able to help or touch in a positive manner. So thanks to all you guys. May you be blessed. Take care, and see you next time. Remember, like, share, and subscribe.